Hello, everyone. Hello. My name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the Business Plug. Thank you for joining the Business Plugs Mixer. This evening, we have a special treat for you. So, you are just in time. Go ahead and share this on your page if you're watching it on LinkedIn or on Facebook. But we're here, and I'd like to introduce my guest. Her name is Audrey Bell Kearney. And so she's going to talk about what she's going to introduce herself, and then we'll get started in the conversation. Hey, Audrey.
Hey, Linda, thank you so much for having me this evening.
Well, you are welcome. So, would you please introduce yourself to our guest?
Sure. So, my name is Audrey, as Linda said. I am an entrepreneur for the past 23 years. I'm dating myself. Um, I'm an inventor. I invented the first plus size fashion doll. I'm an author. I love technology. I just told Linda I'm a straight up old lady geek. I should name. We should coin that, Linda. Old lady
Yeah,
geek.
we should. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I'm a straight up old lady geek. I live in Georgia, born in Georgia, raised in Jersey, been back in Georgia now for about 7 years, and just love it here. I mean, I'm in Gwinnett County, which is right outside of Atlanta, and just love it here, and love the atmosphere here, the small business atmosphere here. Love
Mm.
talking about entrepreneurship. I'm a podcaster. I host a podcast called Good Morning Gwinnett. I do that 4 days a week live. People think
Oh,
I'm nuts.
wow.
Yeah, they go live. Are you going live? I go live every morning, Monday through Thursday at 10 o'clock live, and I talk about what's going on in and around Gwinnett County and beyond, because we know we have news that's beyond Gwinnett too. So I talk about things beyond Gwinnett as well. So, been an entrepreneur for a very long time, and I call the doll company my real doll company. I launched it in 1999, so that's what kicked me off of my real journey of becoming an entrepreneur.
Uh-huh. Well, good. Well, yeah. So now you are helping entrepreneurs become podcasters in
Yes.
a very unique way. A lot of times, and my audience is full. Hey, Loretta, thanks for
Hi,
joining
Loretta.
us. My audience is full of entrepreneurs from around the world. So this is going to be very interesting to them because you help them, even if they are camera shy or don't like the way their voices sound,
Mhm.
then your process can help them to be podcasters using content they've already created.
Absolutely. What I found, Belinda, was that a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, they're either so busy trying to market their business and run the business that they look at podcasting as just this thing. And I've been podcasting since 2009. I've seen this industry come from infancy all the way up to where it is right now, and it is really growing. Just last month, Amazon launched Amazon Music and Amazon and Audible. Now you can have your podcast on both of those platforms. What a lot of people don't know is that they can also have their podcast on Alexa and Google Assistant and all these other different places. But what I found in doing some surveys was that people said, you know what? I don't know if it's worth my investment, right? I don't have
Mm.
the time. I don't know how to podcast. I don't feel like learning all these different things. And they know they should have one, but they have all these different roadblocks that's standing between them and actually launching a podcast. So what I decided to do was what happened was I launched a studio in January of this year, right when COVID was kicking off. But we didn't really know about it at the time. So I did my studio. It's called the Noise Factory. We did a ribbon cutting ceremony. I flew off right after the ribbon cutting ceremony. I had to fly to Florida because I was a speaker at Podfest in Orlando, Florida. When I came back, the whole world shut completely down. And right around that time, about 2 weeks later, my uncle passed away from COVID-19, and
Wow.
then 2 weeks after that, the best man passed away and from my wedding from COVID-19. And at that point, I realized I was not going back into the studio, and I had just launched in January. So for a few months, I was kind of really sad and just trying to figure out what am I doing and who's going to come into the studio now, because we can't even go into the building, so everything was shut down. And I
Mm.
had to pivot. And I said to myself, well, people are not going to come into the studios. A lot of people don't have the time. They don't have the resources. They don't want to do it. How can I help them still launch these podcasts? And what I decided to do, because I am such an old lady geek, is you know what? Let me just start doing podcasts with people by taking content that they already have, using artificial intelligence, create a podcast with a voice, and then put that podcast on all these amazing platforms that they have out there. And that began my journey in a different direction because of COVID-19. So I was able to pivot my company based on the needs of people who want to have a podcast but just don't have the time, or the I don't want to say guts, but don't have the time or the gumption to say, you know what, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna commit to making an episode a week. Now I have clients who have said, you know what, Audrey, show me how to do it. I have one client, she's so wonderful. Her name is Barbara. She's a pastor. And she spent 5 hours with me. So I had a program called a podcast. And so for 5 hours, you got to sit with me. You got your first episode done. You got your podcast artwork done. You got your intro. Everything was done for her. She was so we recorded her first episode, her first 3 episodes session. She had the first 3 episodes ready to launch. So I have clients like that, but most of the clients say, "Well, I don't feel like being bothered with this, but I know I need one." So we took all of the guesswork out. Say, listen, you got blogs on your website? Yes. Do you have FAQs? Yes. Okay, we can take that content and turn it into podcasts with the voice, not just not just like a streaming, really with voice using AI, and then take that content and put it on all these different amazing platforms that are out there right now for podcasting.
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. So Loretta is asking, she's building a YouTube channel and she
Hmm.
wants to know, should she have a podcast too?
Absolutely. Here's the thing. So YouTube, we know, is very powerful, but podcasting is not as saturated as YouTube. So let's put this in perspective. Right now, there are over 1 billion channels on YouTube. Podcasting is just crossing over the 1 million mark. That's 1 million.
Mm,
That's it. And that just happened over the last 6 months. When I spoke at She Podcast last year in September, there were only 775,000 podcasters out there, and only, and when I say active, they are at least producing 1 episode a week. So yes, the answer would be yes. Now, if you use a platform like StreamYard or Zoom, you can kill two birds with one stone by using those technologies. So it's pretty simple. If you're doing video, go ahead, take that audio from those platforms and start your podcast. If you already have a ton of content already available, go back, repurpose that content and put it on podcast, because the same audience that's on podcasting may not be on YouTube, and chances are they aren't.
absolutely, because the podcasting, like I listen to podcasts while I'm working or
Hmm.
while I'm exercising or, when I'm away from my laptop. A lot of so like even this show will appear as a part of my podcast for season 4. I've
Hmm.
actually just uploaded season 3 this week. So you can repurpose what you're
Yes.
doing like in several different ways, and podcasting, like her YouTube, the things that she's using for YouTube, that same content, you can strip it of the video and just use the audio, and it can be it's one thing and done.
And here's the other thing, Linda, that a lot of people don't know. Like all of the newer cars that are coming out right now. Remember when satellite was like the biggest thing going, and every car came with satellite? Well, mostly all of the newer cars coming out right now, they're coming with podcasting platforms like Spotify and Amazon. They're in a battle right now to see which platform is going to be in these cars. Right now, a lot of the new Dodge cars already have podcast platforms in them. So when you
Wow.
think about, yes, you're on YouTube, but people are in their cars probably more than they're sitting at their computers, right? I listen to podcasts in my car. Like, because when I'm driving, I don't need to listen to the radio. I have to listen to podcasts. I need to see what's going on in the space. I need to see what's going on in my industries. And so I listen to them in my car when I'm driving. I call it my drive university. A lot of those newer cars, they're coming with podcast platforms built in, just like the ones that started when they had satellite.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's a good thing. So it's getting in front of the curve. Like I
Yes.
did I did a presentation a few weeks ago about, are you reactive or proactive? And
Hmm.
it's all about looking at where the trends is going. If it's being added to cars, then that's a cosigner that, yeah, you're heading in the right direction when you're creating podcasts that people, because I listen to them too when I'm traveling. Like
Hmm.
more than listening to the radio, I'd rather listen to a podcast and get some knowledge, right? And so having having that skill set that you're already there, like is,
Hmm.
hey Jackie, good to see you. But having that content available to you, like it makes the trip a lot shorter when I can
Yes.
listen to a podcast, because a lot of times I don't have time to
Yes.
sit and listen to it. And when I'm traveling is the perfect time because it helps burn up the road. So yeah, so if you can get in front of the curve and get out there, then that would be a good thing for you and for your business to get known.
And you
Interesting
got to
topic. Yeah.
think about this, Linda. This is why we know it's going in that direction. Apple is fighting for number one. Apple has been number one since podcasting launched. Actually, they were the ones that actually made it popular. Apple,
Mm-hmm.
Spotify, Amazon, those are the big three.
Mm-hmm.
They're fighting for the number one position. Apple is saying, no way. I can tell you this for a fact. Um, Spotify said, you know what? Now we're gonna add video podcasting
Yeah.
to our platform. Now, Apple already has video podcasting. A lot of people don't know that because they're just used to podcasting. But you can
Mm-hmm.
put a video podcast on Apple just like a traditional podcast. Spotify said, hey, you can do the same thing over here. What I love about Amazon is that Amazon has a ton of platforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amazon has Fire TV. My podcast is on Fire TV. It has its own channel. So if you got a Fire Stick, you can pull up Good Morning Gwinnett. My podcast is on Amazon Alexa. So if you have an Alexa, you can pull up Good Morning Gwinnett.
That's
That's what
good
I love
stuff.
about. That's what I love about Amazon. So now with them crossing over to Audible and Amazon Music, now you can pull it up on those platforms as well. This space is doing nothing but growing, and even though there's still a lot of room to grow, you don't want to be the last one to the party.
Absolutely. You want to be in the party when the party started.
That's right. That's
That way
right.
you get to enjoy all the entertainment.
That's right. That's right.
That's good. That's good. I like it. Lynn loves your Drive University. Hey Sheena. Sheena has joined us as well. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, but getting to understand like entrepreneurs, all the different ways you can get out there that are not traditionally being used. Like it's thinking outside of the box, thinking about what's out there and looking for people like you, Audrey, who's helping people be seen, be
Hmm.
heard, you
Yeah.
know, growing your business a different way. I love that. This past week was the International Podcast Day. And
Yeah.
so I got to speak on our friend. Oh, she's gonna kill me. She's gonna kill Margot Lovett. Margot Lovett
Yes. Yes.
held
Yes. Margot.
yeah, Margaret Lovett had a special podcast on Wednesday in honor of the International Podcasters Day, and so just getting out there and just being known around the world. I mean, it's a way of getting your voice heard. Everybody's on the internet, and so
Yes.
why not be there? Like
Yeah.
everybody's already there, so you can expand your customer base.
And here's the thing, Linda. People carry computers around in their pocket all day long, every day. People sleep with them every day. If you got a cell phone, you have a miniature computer, you're sleeping with
Yep,
it. And here's the thing, you can pretty much reach people where they are. And a lot of times it's right on their phone. That's why Amazon said, you know what? We know that people, listen to our Fire Stick. We know that they watch our TV network and all that stuff, but we need to make sure that Alexa can be an app on the cell phone. So it's so crazy. That's why I love them. It's so crazy. Let me give you a prime example. I had a student. She was launching a podcast, and I said to her, "Do you listen to podcasts?" And she says, "No." She had an Apple phone. I said to her, "Do you have the little purple icon on your phone?" And she's like, "Yeah." I said, "That was a podcast." She said, "I never touched that icon before." And I said, "Really?" When she discovered that she can listen to all these amazing people, she was blown away. And I said, that could be your podcast if someone is listening to us. And just imagine how many people have iPhones, how many people have Android phones. They're walking around with you in their pocket every day and twice on Sunday because some of them got two
absolutely.
phones. Two phones.
Yeah, yeah, because when I was working in corporate, a lot of times, as a lot of people listen to radio, but I would listen to podcasts. Like
Hmm.
I wanted to hear all the different trends and things that were going on in the entrepreneurship world. So I would listen to all the different podcasts. I mean, loved them. Had them on where they would pop up, right? And then I love
Hmm.
like on NPR, they have shows like Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me and stuff like that, little game shows. So I would
Hmm.
listen to Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me on NPR. It's just it helps the day to go by faster, and you can kind of center out and concentrate on what you're doing. Like you hear it, but it's not like visual, so you can still do as you work or as you're working out or as you're going for a walk or anything. You could actually just tune in and get educated, right?
And the other thing about podcasting too, let's say you're having a real funky day, right? If you're just having one of those days where you just need to be inspired and you cannot watch YouTube, all you gotta do is crank up a podcast. I'm telling you, there are some amazing stories on podcasts, and if you just go there, I guarantee you find a good podcast in your industry, and you listen. If you're feeling down that day, by the time you get finished listening to those podcasts, you're gonna feel amazing. You're gonna be energized and empowered, and now you can move forward. Because a lot of times we get into, especially as entrepreneurs, we get into a funk because we're kind of like our, we by ourselves a lot of times and feeling like, oh my God, this is hard. Oh my God, what have I done? What have I committed to? And I get those days. And I've been an entrepreneur for 23 years, but I still get those days, especially when I'm doing something new. I'm like, oh my God, why did I launch this? But then I'll go and I'll find me some great story to listen to. And then I'm inspired and empowered all over again. So yes, you can use it for Drive University, but also use it as your empowerment network when you're feeling funky about what's going on in your life, whether it be your business life or your personal life. It's some great podcasters out there talking about both. And if you just need a laugh, find you a comedy podcast and just laugh because they got those too.
Yeah, it's one in every genre you can think of. And I know a lot is going on the political scene right now, right? And sometimes you just need to tune out and listen to something else. And so it gives you options to tune out and tune out all the rhetoric from politics and actually just learn something or be incented, get incented to do something different or learn something new. Or laugh, like you said, laugh, get in a comedy because there are plenty of comedy podcasts out there too. And depending on what your taste is. Like there are so many genres out there that you could just listen to all day and get into that. It's like visual TV. I mean, like without the vision, but
Right,
but it's
right.
brain thinking, right? Because it's using your cognitive skills. So it's a great way, absolutely great way. If you're an individual person just looking for a new media source, or if
Hmm.
you are an entrepreneur and you're trying to learn something about business or how to implement something new in your business or to get your business known if you want to create your own. So there's so many avenues to just enjoy what's going on in the podcast world right now. Like
Yeah.
jump on board.
It really is. I just launched a new business called the Rug Chest, and it's a business that I get these great God give me these great ideas in the middle of the night, and sometimes I try to launch them all, but this one right here is a little bit different because I feel like he has prepared me over the last 23 years for this business, and so the first thing on my mind was okay, I have to launch a podcast about this. Right. And my husband, you gonna launch a podcast about a rug business? I was like, absolutely. So he was like, what you gonna talk about? I said, I'm gonna talk about e-commerce store because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I don't know. So it's like everybody can go on the journey with me as I learn how to do this e-commerce because I've done a lot of businesses, but I've never done e-commerce. And I said, now
Okay.
I'm just gonna let people follow me as I take this journey of learning how to do e-commerce. And he's like, oh, okay. Now you spoke a few minutes ago about non-traditional ways to get your information out there. A lot of people don't know that they can be on Apple TV, they can be on Amazon Fire TV, they can be on Roku. Most people don't even know that Android make TVs. All of those platforms are available, and they are available to entrepreneurs everywhere. Like Noise Media Network, which is my company, we have a network with all of those on all of those platforms. And when I tell people, yeah, you can be on TV, they go like on like real TV, like, yep, I watch my Fire Stick and my Roku all day long, pretty much when I do watch TV, and that's on Sundays. I was just watching it before we started the show. Yes, as an entrepreneur, you can be on all of those platforms. I am in the process
Absolutely.
right now of setting up one of the chambers on TV network on my network, right? And TV channel. And they said, so the chamber members like, so you mean tell me, so we're a member of the chamber. It's one of the chambers here in Gwinnett County. We're a member of the chamber, and because the chamber has a relationship with you, we're gonna be able to put our content on TV. And she was like, the president was like, well, yeah. So she went to a meeting with a group of other chambers, and so now I have all these calls set up next week. Because she's like, Audrey, I was telling them about it. They're gonna start calling you, and sure enough, my inbox was like full of people like, hey, we want to know more about how to get our chamber on TV. These platforms are available. What I will tell people is don't be afraid. A lot of times people are afraid of the technology. And trust me when I tell you, there's somebody out there who can help you with this. Now, I'm not gonna lie, some of them are pretty pricey, right? But when you look at the price that it's going to cost you to be on TV, and I'm talking about on TV in hundreds of countries, it could be worth the return on your money. You just have to be patient because it's not an overnight get rich kind of thing. It's you building your brand across all these different platforms and putting yourself in radios and cars around the world.
Absolutely. And that's what you have to think of because a lot of times people get sticker shock, right? And I call it sticker shock because they'll say $3,000, that's a lot of money. But what
Hmm.
happens is you have to look at what will that get you?
Right.
Like, will people in another country now know that you exist? Does it open up and expand your reach as far as how many people even know that you have a business somewhere in some town they haven't heard of? you know, so
Yeah.
it's a way of you to think about it's a marketing tool, it's an education, brand recognition tool, to get out there. Jackie asked about the business podcast, what we recommend for mindset. My number one is my girl, Patrice Cunningham Washington, redefining wealth. I love Patrice. Patrice is my best friend in my head, and we talk about that a lot. But she actually featured me last year on her podcast. So she's my go-to when I'm talking about mindset changing because what she teaches is we're chasing our purpose and not money. And if
Right.
you chase your purpose, the money will eventually come. So Jackie, that's the one that's my go-to for mindset change. How about you? Which one do you listen to, Audrey, for that?
I listen to Smart Passive Income with Pat Flynn, and I listen to Entrepreneurs on Fire with Johnny Dumas. Those are my favorite
I
podcasts
like
because
entrepreneur.
I love
Yeah,
stories, and so they
yeah.
always have people on there telling. I'm a story lover. I'm a storyteller, and I'm a story lover. And whenever I get off of those, and I listen to another one called Market of the Day. I was actually on his show. I listen to those because I love the stories, and so once I start listening to those, I always get some nuggets, right? And then once
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
get those nuggets, I feel empowered all over again. And so
Mm-hmm.
those are the ones that I listen to the most. Like those are my three top go-to podcasts. But I listen to a lot of them, but those are the ones I listen to on a regular basis.
Yeah. And Jackie teaches Excel spreadsheets. Like she teaches you the deep dives. She is like
Mm,
the Excel spreadsheet queen. And so she
wow.
teaches people to how to use it efficiently. And she teaches us a lot of those functionalities that we didn't even know were out there. That's what her thing. So she could even use repurpose, like she does these videos. So those videos that she has can be repurposed into a podcast.
Let me tell you something. If Jackie's got videos, she can take those same videos, create a Roku channel, and charge a subscription for it. Right on TV. So if people have Roku TVs, they have Roku boxes, they have Roku streaming sticks, and you can take that same content and put it on a Roku and charge a small registration fee where people can get access to your maybe not your super premium content, but a little bit of premium. You can do the same thing on Fire TV. I have a let me see which one of my shows. One of my shows is HerTube. So I have a TV network called HerTube, right? I have it on Roku. I have 103,000 subscribers on Roku. I have it on Amazon as a paid channel. So every month I get
Mm.
my check from Amazon from the subscription. The same content that I have for free on Roku. And the reason it's free on Roku because I started free on Roku. And when I try to go back and make it a paid channel, my subscribers like, we're not about to pay. We've been doing this for 2 years for free. We're not about to pay. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to lose you, so let me make it free. But then when I put it on Amazon, I made it as a subscription service. So it's just so many things that you can do. And I know we can get it's something new every day, right? It's something new every day. But I think when you're thinking about building your brand, you kind of got to look at all of the different platforms and start picking one at a time. Don't try to do them all because it's too many, right? And here I am giving you like four more. You don't need four more. Pick them one at a time and just roll them out one at a time. And when you roll them out one at a time, send out a press release. If you're gonna launch a Fire TV channel, do the Fire TV channel, send out a press release. Next quarter, roll out your Roku channel. Next quarter, roll out your podcast. Next quarter, put your podcast on Roku. It's all of those different things. All of those different things.
That's a whole, you just gave somebody an annual plan right there.
Yeah.
This is a whole annual plan because what we teach is every 90 days have goals. And so I'm getting ready to start doing annual planning. So anyone listening, this could be a part of your whole annual plan as far as the marketing, going to places where you aren't currently in order
Right.
to expand your brand recognition. So this could be a part of your annual planning right here.
You
We're
know,
giving it
people
all. We get,
people are
get you
listening
get
too. Like
all the nuggets in the mixer.
I launched a TV network called HerTube in 2013, and it was a TV network about women and what women care about.
hmm
2013. Some kind of way, this woman found me in Germany. Her name was
hmm
Olga. It was hilarious. Her name was Olga. She reached out to me. She said, "Hey, listen, we love what you're doing. We want to know, can we create a TV app for Germany and Europe?" And I was like, "Really?" I said, do you guys speak like English? She said, no, not a lot of English. She said, but they like to learn. So when they see your content, they're learning how to speak English, and they're learning about your culture. So they created a TV app for me in Germany. It was on, I want to say it was on 700 platforms. It was in countries like Slovakia and countries I couldn't even net pronounce. And I was like, oh my God, it was amazing. And so right now, her tube is all over the world. I don't even know who watches, but I can tell you this, what was interesting. When I would look at my stats, a lot of the people that were watching the network were in Vietnam. And every time they were like in the top three Vietnam. And I was like, why in the world would people be listening to me from listen to, because it's a bunch of us on the channel. Why would they be listening to us in Vietnam? And that's when they told us, like, Audrey, they want to learn the culture. They want to learn about what we're doing over here in America. So that's why it's so popular. And Vietnam was always in the top three of my stats for that TV network.
Wow, wow. And see, I have a good following in Mexico. I downloaded my book and gave it away free for my birthday.
Hmm.
And I had 751 downloads, and 51% of them were at Playa de Carmen in Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a following,
Right.
a following there simply because they had access. Like access is everything.
Yes.
Because people want, I did a speaking engagement in Douala in Africa last year,
Oh,
and
nice.
it was amazing to me that everyone there, English was their second language. Like they
Hmm.
had actually they had three languages. So they had the tribal language, and then they spoke French, and then English was the third language. But they spoke fluent English, so they can understand it a lot
Right.
better than they can speak it a lot of times. But they
Hmm.
understood it. But yeah, so it's just broadening your reach and just knowing that with this type of technology, the world has gotten a little smaller.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
it has shrunken a lot, and it's going to continuously to shrink because technology is not going anywhere. It's only getting smarter.
yeah,
That it's
exactly.
getting smarter and smarter every day, and you can look at that when you see my husband had full conversations with Alexa. Like he was like, "Hey, good morning, Alexa." She was like, "Good morning, Franklin." He has straight up full conversation, and it's so crazy. And I'm like, "You really like doing it, don't you?" He's like, "Yeah." He will have. He said to her this morning, "Good morning, Alexa. What's the weather today?" She said, "Oh, today, Franklin, it's going to be 73 degrees and something. Have a wonderful day." So you too. She said, "Thank you." It's only
Absolutely.
getting smarter.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I was introducing my friend to my Alexa, and we have conversations about different music, genres. You can hear whatever you want to hear. You can listen to stories. I mean, Alexa is powerful. Alexa is
Yep.
like having a roommate without
Yes.
without the mess.
Yes. Yes. And did you know, Linda, that people can go on there and have Alexa read a book to them? So even if your
Yeah,
book is not in audio format, if you tell Alexa, read, I don't know, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, Alexa will read the book
Alexa
to
will
you.
read it. Absolutely.
So even if you don't have a
Without the audible, without the
without
audible
Audible,
price tag, it comes
that's
with
right.
it.
It
Yeah,
comes with
yeah.
it. So if you got a
I know
book
because I
and you
do that.
that's right, because you can tell Alexa, hey, listen, Alexa, can you read whatever? Now here's the thing, as an author, that's good for you to know, because now you can tell people, hey, listen, if you don't have time to read my book, just tell Alexa to read it to you, and she'll read
Alexa
it
read it right on Kindle. Like if
on
you have it on
Kindle.
Kindle, if you download an ebook to Kindle, then Alexa will read that book to you
Yes,
without
it's amazing.
Audible, without the extra price tag or anything.
It's
Yeah, because I have
amazing.
my book on. I have both my books on Kindle, and I listen to books like that all the time.
Yes, and you don't have to pay
Absolutely,
that
good stuff.
14.99 to Audible if you don't want to for one book a month.
Girl, girl. And sometimes I'm in a club. So I last year I made myself read at least two books a month.
Hmm.
And so, one was for pleasure and the other was for business. And pulled it off because they give you one or two different credits with the
Hmm.
account. So I do have an Audible account. Because a lot of times I'm reading while I'm walking or I'm traveling or something else. And so, just knowing that now your podcast could be on Alexa. You can tell Alexa go get it, and
That's right.
she'll give you your podcast, like
I was
everything,
I was trying to woo a,
everything.
I was trying to woo a client. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was
No,
trying
you're
to woo
fine.
a
You're fine.
client. And so she came into where my studio was, right? And so at the front of the desk, at the front of the lobby, we had an Alexa up there, right? So the owner of it was inside of a co-working space. So she walked up to the front of the desk and I said, let me show you what your podcast will be able to do. So we was like, Alexa, open Good Morning Gwinnett. So she was standing at the front of the desk and she said, here's the latest edition of Good Morning Gwinnett. And she started talking and then she was like, oh my God, like I can't believe that. But that won her over. Like she became a
Absolutely.
client because of that, because she saw the power of what we were talking about. I could have just been talking, but to see that in action, like as she was leaving, I was like, okay, let me just, oh, you know what? Let me see what Lex can do. And and she was like, oh my God, like I can't believe that just happened, like right in front. It's powerful. And here's the other thing. A lot of businesses use Alexa in their business, like big companies. They will put Alexa inside the Echo Dots inside of each person's office because it's a productivity tool as well. It's just so much you can do. So much. I could be talking all
So
day
much.
about this stuff. I tell y'all, I'm an
I
old
know
lady
it's
who.
good stuff, but no, it's good stuff because a lot of people don't know that it exists, and so it's an opportunity to think outside the box. I'm all about thinking outside the box and not doing what everyone else is doing, or doing it at least first and being the
Mhm.
first adapters, being there for the early adapters who are looking for something different, something new to do in their business, and who are tired of the old, the old way, the old method, and looking for new methods to communicate and to get their points across. And this, podcasting. So now you have just removed all the entry barriers that any entrepreneur may have, any objections that they may have to getting their business to be known nationally, be known internationally, because now they have a resource where if they can't do it themselves, they can contact you. And if they need you to teach them how to do it, then they can still contact you.
Yeah.
So you just decreased all the barriers of entry to creating your own podcast. So I mean, I love this. I love this stuff. I told you I'm nerdy. I love the tech stuff. I'm a tech girl. Like I'm a STEM person, and so I love introducing ideas like this to my audience. If you all have any more questions, please put your questions in the comments and we'll give them answer. If you by chance are watching this on the replay, go ahead and put hashtag replay and we'll make sure we'll know that you saw it. But we want to make sure that you as an entrepreneur are able to see something very different about your business, about advertising. So we have a question that says, what are your thoughts about the data tracking from Alexa? I'm a cynic a bit on this foolish. Is on this foolish. Is this foolish? I guess is what they're asking.
Well,
Here,
I think right now Alexa is still in the infancy stage, right? There's so much going on and technology is rolling out so quick that there is a lot of they're tracking, but they have not fine-tuned it to the point where we can really understand all the data, right? But we've been tracked on everything we do. So that's just another one. Now I could tell you that you can unplug your Alexa if you don't want it tracking stuff you do in your house, because it is tracking you in your house.
yeah, it's
If you
tracking.
have it, if you have it in your house and you have it turned on, even if it's not saying anything, it's tracking you.
Well,
And so
yeah, you can
unplug it.
see it. Yeah, I'll see her light up and start. She'll start listening because she's
Yeah.
trying to understand your voice and she's trying to understand your likes and dislikes so that she knows what to project.
Right.
And it's all about predictive data, right? Predictive modeling.
Hmm.
How she's performing, and so how she gets that is by listening to what you're doing and understanding what your habits are. So yeah, if you are a person that is just too creepy for you, and there are some that it's just too creepy for them, and they're not ready for that yet. But the thing about it is, like people talk about their privacy and different things, and would be surprised to know how much content they've already given out simply by clicking on a link or by using the telephone. Like they would be astounded. My friend, he was a part of Oracle, and they went to look at the dark market, the dark web,
The
and he
dark
said,
web.
"Well, I just want to let
Hmm.
you know the dark web is a dear thing. It is a thing." And he said, we actually got to, in his training, they showed him the dark web that, yeah, people be listening in on your calls. People be watching you from your computer, from your camera. This is the world we're in. So you can use that to create fear, or you can use that to empower you. and just understand. Like right now, I have this little thing I got from a conference that closes the window, and it's just a little slider that
Oh, that's
goes over the
nice.
camera that you
Oh,
can
that's
cut on and
nice.
off. Yeah, but they make that. Why do they make that? They make that because they realize that the dark web is a thing.
Yeah.
So there are precautions that you can use, unplugging your Alexa when you're not using her, or there are things you can do, but you must, in order to get out here, that's a part of her training. She's designed to understand who you are. And
Yeah.
that's how she's able to converse with you. That's how she's able to call Franklin by his name and know
Yes.
his voice from Audrey's voice.
Yes.
That's so he knows. So that's what intelligence is. I mean, that's what artificial intelligence is. It's all these things that we don't know, that we don't can't understand, and it seems kind of woo woo, but it's
It
helping
does.
us to live better. Yeah, I mean, and being a cynic, it comes with it, but just know there are things in place that you can kind of mitigate her listening. You can cut her off.
Hmm. Yes.
You can unplug her because she
Hmm.
doesn't listen when she doesn't have power. So
Right.
so you can do those type of things. You can put a camera cover, and that has logo on it. That's another business tool, by the way. But you can put a camera cover with your logo and give those to your customers to help them to feel secure. They're just different things that you can do. It's just think about how you can do things a little differently. And it's to get out there. Does it have risk? Entrepreneurship within itself is a risk.
Yes. Yes, it
So,
is.
if you've done the entrepreneur tour, then you're already are somewhat not risk averse. So
Yes.
just think about that while you're doing it. But we love you too, and we thank you all for joining us. So my name is Linda Murray Bullard. They call me the business plug, and today I am plugging you into Audrey, who's telling you how you, as an entrepreneur, can get on with your own podcast. Hello, Joanne. So, Audrey, is there any parting remarks you would like to leave with our audience?
I just want to tell your audience, please don't be afraid of technology, especially if you're a business owner. If you're not a business owner, use that technology for your family. There's so many things you can listen. Use the technology to entertain your kids if they're still at home right now. You know what I mean? It's just so many things you can do. But as a business owner, don't be afraid of it. There's someone out there who knows how to help you get on these platforms. What I will say is, get on them, but you don't have to get on them all at one time. Look at the ones that
Absolutely.
to really benefit you, just like with any other social media. But these are media platforms, almost like traditional media. Find out which one is going to benefit you first, and then tack on to that one. And the next quarter, go to the next one. Don't try to do them all at one time, because otherwise you'll lose your mind. Just don't be like me, because I try to do them all at one time. Like I'll launch them all like in 1 month, but don't do that,
That's the
because
nerd in us.
I know it's gonna stress you out. You're right, but those are my parting words. And follow your dreams, whatever that may be, whatever that may be, and understand there are people like Linda out there who can walk you through that process, because she's done it, she's doing it, she walked by faith, she do this thing, but because we you gotta walk by faith
Absolutely.
as an
Absolutely.
entrepreneur. Because let me tell you, God would downpour these ideas, and you be like, oh my God, like what am I supposed to do with that? Like, like launching a rug company. Like, who the heck launches a rug company? Me, so
I
those are my
love it. I
parting
love it.
words.
Yeah, those. Well, thank you for that. I love the downloads, and I tell people, and they're like, "Well, who you be talking to?" And I said, "Well, God gives me these downloads at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just take them and run with them. I'm
Hmm.
obedient, right? Because
Yep.
obedience is better than sacrifice. So I'm obedient to whatever He tells me to do, and that's how people know who I am now. That's how I got to be the plug. I got to be the plug by just listening to the downloads and staying in action.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. As an entrepreneur, you owe it to you. You owe it to, hey, Tamika, you owe it to you. You owe it to your customers to just stay in action, to present however you can present what you do, how you do. So, yeah, so this is going to be great stuff. Thanks, Tamika. Thank you so much. The More Camp. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Yeah, but she helps kids and she helps parents and their kids in learning. But yeah,
Nice, nice.
she could
Tamika, you
definitely
want to
use.
get you an Alexa skill, girl? Go ahead, so them kids can listen to that thing on Alexa.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. It makes it portable wherever they are so that they can listen to it. So yeah, so that's what we want. That's what we want. Well, thank you, Linda, for joining us. So you guys, I hope you will join me next Sunday at 7 o'clock. The Business Plugs Mixer, always bringing you new, fresh ideas, always bringing you fresh and new entrepreneurs and new ways of doing business out here. Everybody's online, so we're trying to help you to find another resource that you can be online where your customers can find you. That's what we're all about. COVID did not stop our success. COVID is making us do things differently and to think a lot broader. So that's what
Hmm.
we're doing. So until next week, if you'll hold on, Audrey, until next week, we will see you right here, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern at the Business Plugs Mixer. You guys have a great, great week. We'll talk to you next week.